Welcome to our special episode today. And today is, of course, National Farmers Day. And I want to welcome everybody to this special show. We have a special guest that should be joining us shortly. But in the meantime, I'm going to play a very short video, which I think you all enjoy. And this is our tribute to all of our farmers out there. So please stay tuned and enjoy this short video here.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding visiting ladies, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon and mean it. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die, then dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need who can shape an axe handle from a persimmon route, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then painin' from tractor back put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. God had to have somebody willing to ride the ruts at double speed to get the hay in ahead of the rain clouds and yet stop in midfield and race to help when he sees the first smoke from a neighbor's place. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees, weave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-combed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners, somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard week's work with a 5-mile drive to church. Somebody who'd bail a family together with a soft, strong bonds of and then sigh, and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
Sorry. I really love that speech by Paul Harvey. For those of you guys who don't know, that was a speech given by Paul Harvey. That was given, I believe, back in the 1970s, late 1970s. And it was repurposed. Dodge trucks made a video out of that. And they had their own slideshow. And of course, we make our own slideshow here, just honoring farmers of all kinds from all walks of life, because let's face it, you guys are the ones who are working hard. You guys are the ones who are the backbone of our civilization. You guys are the ones who are growing the food that allows us all to eat and do everything else we do. So we appreciate our farmers, and we just wanted to participate in this. I know it may this holiday of National Farmers Day may not get a ton of attention from the regular media, but we know, and we've always known in dealing with farmers all over the world, that you guys really are the ones who make everything else go. So we wanted just to say thank you so much for all of your hard work and all of your efforts. It is not forgotten. It is not unacknowledged. And whether you ever choose to do business with my company or not, whether you ever choose to use our crop booster or not, I wanted to say thank you and appreciate everything that you guys do. One of our farmers here should be joining us shortly. His name's Jim Reed. In fact, I think he's hopping out right now. If I'm seeing him, let me see if I can let him in the meeting here. Jim, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. There we go. Now we're cooking with fire here. Sorry.
I had to reboot it and do it again. So we're good though.
Okay, cool. Well, Jim, welcome to our show, and thanks again. I know, Jim, you've done one of our shows before in the past, and um, you've definitely been one of our best advocates. I know we're probably send too many guys your way in terms of bugging you with questions about how our system works and whether our system is legitimate or not. But we want to thank you for, first of all, thank you for being a farmer. I mean, that's kind of why we're here today, just thanking our farmers, and obviously thank you for supporting us and using us as well.
Well, farming is a family fraternity, basically. And if I have knowledge of something that could help a neighboring farmer, even though I don't know him, it doesn't matter uh, because we have to feed the world. and the, so whatever we can do to do that job better, I'm certainly willing to share, glad to share.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually one of the things that I was the other one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you and have you on the show is because I know you were engaged this year on an experiment to really help reduce water usage. And for those of you guys who watch the show who don't know, the California region has had a pretty severe drought over the last 3 or 4 years. They've had water reductions. They're actually rationing water. I'm hearing that in some places they're actually putting water meters on well water and actually taxing farmers for the water that they're using if they're using too much water for a particular crop. And Jim, I know that you have been involved in that, but I know you also had an experiment you're running this year in conjunction with our technology, but it was really your own idea. Can you just tell us your project in terms of helping reduce water usage on your citrus trees?
Well, I'm not the first one to have this idea. I found out what I had an experiment, unintended experiment going on because I have several trees planted at my home, and the topography is about the same as my commercial grove. It's organic grove, but commercial grove. And since I was watering it with my irrigation system for the landscaping, I was what they now call pulse irrigating. I didn't realize that, but I would water it every day. Well, not 6 days a week. I added it up because the sprinkler system, micro sprinkler system I have in the commercial grove, and what I have in my 30 some trees in my home is exactly the same pressure, same hose diameter, same misters, et cetera, et cetera. It dawned on me these trees were as healthy and big as any trees, and I was using 30-40% less water. So now these trees were started that way from the planting. So it's kind of hard to just jump in and adapt to a tree that's 40 years old that's been getting 24 or 36 hours of water once every 5 to 10 days, depending on the weather, and you say, okay, now I'm going to give you a little bit every day because the root system is not accustomed to that. So we did a modified system. Instead of doing 2 hours a day, we did 4 hours every other day, and that seemed to work okay. I think what we can get those trees to get what if we start off in the spring and do it a couple of years, we can get them to where we can save 30 to 40% of the water. This year we saved about 20%, and the cost of water is so important. Just by way of example, uh, we have to estimate how much we're going to use. There's a meter, but when you're using several hundred acre feet, and you come to the end, the irrigation company says, district says you can't go over. If you go over, it's $1,000 an acre foot. It may
Wow.
surprise a lot of you how much it is. It's normally like 250 to 270, 275, 285 on that grove per acre foot, and we went over 2 acre feet. So
Oh.
we watched it as close as we could. Now that prorate ends in September, so now we're back to without having that restriction. But it seems to be working well, along with your system.
So yeah, so you're um, give us an idea. So okay, so and just to let people know who aren't in the citrus business or may not know, um, in the citrus industry in California, most of the growers, at least the ones that I've been talking to, and I think Jim would be probably part of this, is they would irrigate once a week or maybe twice a week, but usually once a week. But they'd run the whole system for 24 to 36 hours, just an all in one shot. So you're essentially drenching the land for a day, day and a half. and then you don't water it for a week. And the idea, would that be correct? Is that about right, Jim?
Every 4 to 10 days, depending upon the temperature. Yes, you are correct.
Right. So they use a lot of water. They drench the fields and then they don't water for 4 days or 8 days or 10 days, depending on obviously those conditions. But in doing so, they use a lot more overall volume of water. So a lot more gallons or acre feet of water are being used by irrigating that much, but irrigating less often. And what you're saying is by irrigating every other day, you're able to use a lot less water per irrigation cycle, but you're keeping those trees hydrated. Would that be
Yeah,
correct?
I want to get to every day. In order to do that, of course, I have to have wireless and remote control of the valves. I don't have that now. We're manually changing the valve. That's another reason that we went to 4 hours. We started out with two, but we couldn't keep up with the irrigators. Hard to keep up. So we went to four, and I'm getting a bid on a system to put in the wireless automatic uh, valves, so we could just set it. You can set it anywhere you want on your telephone, and it changes it by itself, and you can do whatever you want to do that way, just like your home. Just no
Yeah.
different than your home.
Yeah, just like push a couple buttons on your home, and now in 20 years from now, all my kids are going to be just sitting in their smartphone, turning the lights on, cooking dinner. You can manage your whole farming operation now just by clicking a few buttons on your phone. It's going to be kind of crazy.
Yeah, if we don't destroy ourselves before then, yeah, you're right.
Well, let's hope that brighter minds prevail, but
I hope so.
Well, let me ask this question because I know obviously you've used our technology for a couple of years now. You've had some experience with it on both your citrus and your dragon fruit, and just if you could just tell us what your experience is and some of the different changes you've seen on the farm since using our Cuminasi technology.
Well, I started using it on dragon fruit. We were able to have in our nursery facility. We at that time we had three separate systems, and so we in the wintertime we put them inside rooms with grow lights on them, and so we were able to put one room with your system, one room without your system, and then we have another building that's half and half. We did the same there, and in every case with the Kemanasi system, they rooted faster and they grew quite a bit faster. So we were able to turn them over quicker, which of course saves us not only the water, but it saves us money because we don't have to carry them, and we turn our cash a lot quicker. So I planted a young grove in Tarabella, which is south of Porterville, a little ways, 30 acres, and I put it on that grove as well. And the trees the neighbor had planted a year before me, and within the end of the first year, our trees were a little bigger. At the end of the first year that we planted, and the next year quite a bit bigger. I sent you some pictures, I think, or a video, whatever. And then another neighbor had planted 2 years prior, and we were almost with him, not quite. So that showed me that it is quite a bit better. So then I just put it on everything I have, and we put it on our organic 100 acres that's east of Bakersfield, and the leaves are bigger. We're using a little less water, but the leaves are bigger. Our soil analysis, our leaf analysis is better, and our crop last year was about as good as we've grown conventionally for size and quantity, and it's better this year for quantity. The whole area has a little bit of a sizing issue. A lot of more bloom stuff. That's why you have a bigger crop, of course. When the heavier the crop, you're gonna the smaller you're gonna have some small sizes. But it's a very nice crop, and I'm very pleased.
Nice. And is it the oranges you're growing Valencias on the 100-acre grove, correct?
I have lemons, Valencias, and navel oranges. It's all three.
Okay. And is it all fresh fruit, or does it have juicing fruit in there as well?
That all goes. It's all organic for the fresh market.
Nice. Okay. And okay, cool, great. And then my other question would be, obviously, I know you've talked to quite a few farmers in your region about this, but what we typically see when we talk to people is, of course, we're promoting a product, we're telling people about it, and we have a vested interest, in terms of telling people how good it is and the results that we've seen. But as an unbiased observer, if somebody were considering this, and weighing out the options, the cost and the benefits, what would your advice to them be?
Well, it's kind of like finding urea if you've never fertilized before. It just takes off, and the response is fairly dramatic. To tell you the truth, it didn't happen overnight, of course, but within by the end of the first season, you see a big difference in your tree health. I've seen a bigger tree health quality and overall appearance. The leaves are bigger, greener, and our leaf, like I said earlier, our leaf analysis are better. It seems to utilize what's in the soil better, what's available to the soil. We haven't changed a lot of what we put in the soil, but what has changed is the uptake of the tree, utilizing more.
Right, and that's when we've been telling people. Other farmers with flowers and other types of crops have been that they're not so much interested in increasing yield, so they back off on the fertilizer. And farmers don't kind of put those two things together of how you can back off fertilizer. But to your point, Kiminasi is helping those trees and those plants just absorb and utilize more of what's there, so
Correct.
that they don't necessarily need. Because we've actually shown graphs, and this wasn't our data. This was the FAO, the U.S. The United Nations reports, basically saying that a lot of the fertilizers being used around the world is being wasted because the plants just aren't uptaking it.
True, that's very true.
And obviously you got now with the war in Russia, and that's affecting supply chains of fertilizer. You have Canada and Netherlands and Sri Lanka, all these countries saying we want to protect the environment, so we're just going to force the farmers to use half as much fertilizer.
Well, they're probably going to realize one day they're going to have to eat half as much.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, when you see all those commercials from the future where they have these little, they have a big plate and they have like 3 peas, and that's kind of what's gonna look like unless we come up with better solutions. So,
well, how far can you go on a half a tank of fuel versus a full tank of fuel? It's pretty simple. That's why I said earlier in my comment, if we don't destroy ourselves.
Right. Well, hopefully, like I said, brighter minds will prevail on the regulation side. But we're just here to support the farmers. We really appreciate everything you've done, and all the support you've given us back. Again, we want to continue to work with you, but we just want to we wanted to have you on because again, you've been one of our best farmers, and we really appreciate everything you're doing.
Well, the system works. That's why I'm an advocate, and I do not mind helping other farmers at all. Even some people say, well, they're competition. Well, we're competition to do the best we can do every day. So helping others is what I feel like we're put on earth to do, and that's where the reward is. Is the old saying, "Way better to give than receive," is absolutely true.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate you, Jim, and thank you so much for being a Kiminasi farmer. And I'm going to let you go, but I really appreciate you being on the show today.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jim.
Take care.
All right. And for all the other farmers out there, we want to, again, just reiterate, we want to thank you for all of your hard work. We know that farming is not an easy profession. It's not always a profession that's going to make you rich, but it is definitely an important profession. It's a profession that we all depend upon. As Jim mentioned, you have to, if you want to eat something, when you look at your plate, if you want to have a nice meal there, then you better think of farmer, whether it's a farmer or a rancher or in some way or another that farmer had something to do with the meal that you're eating. So again, thank you so much for all of your hard work, and thank you for doing everything you do. We here at Harvest Harmonics are here to support you and to help you every step of the way. If you're looking to reduce water or input costs, we can definitely help you. As Jim mentioned, we help make those trees and plants more efficient at utilizing the resources that you're giving it. And if you guys just want to increase or improve the quality of your yield, we definitely can help you there as well. Again, when you make plants more efficient and make the soil more efficient in a sustainable manner, it only stands to reason that you're going to get a better crop and you're going to make more money. So if you guys have an interest in working with us, we do have a special that we launched for this month in honor of Farmers Day. And that Farmers Special is basically 15% off any order of any size, whether it's our smallest system, which literally is about the size of a garden unit. You can put this on your lawn or your home garden, all the way up to our big systems that can handle 2,600 gallons a minute and hundreds of acres at a time. We want to work with you. We want to support you and give you every opportunity to see for yourself this technology that Mr. Reed has been using for the last 2.5 years, and so many farmers are just giving us praise. We want to we want to back you up and support you in everything you do, and we're going to make everything that you're currently already doing that much more efficient and that much more productive. So if that's of interest to you, please give us a call, 727-324-6750, or go to our website at harvestharmonics.com. You can check out some videos about the science and how our system works. You can check out some more case studies and testimonials. Not only Mr. Reed here, but also all of our farmers that have been gracious enough to share their information with us so that we can help more farmers. And if you're in a situation right now where you just want to improve, we can help you. If you're in a situation right now where because of regulations or because of the cost of fertilizer or other things, you're kind of scratching your head and worrying about how you're going to make it, then we definitely want to help you. We know we can. So please give us a call or go to our website or send us an email, and let's work together so that you can become part of the future of farming today. Happy Farmers Day, guys. We hope to see you very, very soon.